I wanted to ask you about 2004 when you went to Shanghai and you took the spherical photograph sequences of the environment. You had a custom rig, spent many nights on the rooftops of some of the tallest buildings in the area. As a son of a photographer, what was that experience like? Because I know, like, as big as many accomplishments as we collect in life, at the end of the day, it always comes back to our internal like feeling of making mom and dad proud, or like, look at me now.
That one was fun. It was an interesting job, and technically, I got shanghaied. You see, I was originally on the crew. I had the ticket, I had the visa, all of that. But then they decided to not take me and take this other technician. So I wasn't the final one packing all the gear and shipping it and all that. But I'd help prep the environment capture system. And there was a laptop that ran it and an interface box and that kind of stuff. And I helped them with all that. So I knew how it all worked. Mm-hmm. Well, the day they flew out, I was at lunch and I get a call saying, you missed the flight. You're on the flight tomorrow. The tech that they were sending came down with appendicitis. So I got 20 hours notice that I was going to Shanghai for 3 weeks.
Wow, get out of here, man. Wow.
So I was able, but I had the visa and all that, so I was able to lock and load and get over there. And the very first thing I had to deal with was they hadn't brought the power cord for the laptop. They had the brick, but they didn't have the power cord. And the power cord was one of those C7 type, with the, rather than a regular D style C13, it was a C7. And so that was my first mission over to the electronics emporium there. And I wander around and my Chinese is very limited. I can say ni hao, but I go up there and I see this guy with cables and I step up to him and say, Mickey Mouse cord? He goes, huh? And there it is. Boom. I bought a lot of stuff in that place. And then I get out first night, we're on the roof of the building and the power supply box that I made, I intentionally did not connect the ground pin from the power cord. I left it isolated. I just took the power into the power supply out to the rig. Well, they dropped me a power cord. I plug in, it's 220 up there. Okay, fine, I'm all set for that. I plug in and nothing, I'm not getting anything. I get my meter out and I go test it. And they have, in their connections, they've clocked the wires by 1. And what was supposed to be the ground pin had the live 220 on it. So luckily I had not hooked up that ground pin. Otherwise, everything would have exploded there on the metal grating of the roof. And I would have had a live box. And I followed the cable back and found that a lot of times they didn't bother with plugs on the other end. They would just strip the wires, stuff them in the holes and close the cover.
Not how you do it.
And it was kind of scary, but it was fun being up on the roof of these buildings, getting to go into places. There's the trailer. There's a helicopter scene around the Bank of China, which it's kind of a oblong shaped building. And I get a call on the radio saying, hey, the helicopter's coming by, hide. And I look up and I look out and I see that eye of the camera. And I'm like, oh, and I duck down behind something. And in the very first trailer that came out, I could see myself moving in there. It was a few pixels. They cleaned me out afterwards. But
I'm gonna look for that.
Yes.
The first trailer.
But the first release, as they come around, there's this little figure that disappears in there, and it was interesting being in buildings under construction, and just generally getting to go places where, our business is all about going places where nobody gets to go.